Movies and TV shows have shown us that anyone who wants to travel into alternate dimensions and worlds needs to pass through a portal. However, that's just a fictional concept. But what if it was actually possible? As it turns out, there are people who believe that this can be done, and there are a few documented incidents that make us think it might be true. There are many strange places with extraordinary properties that could actually be portals to other worlds. In this video, we'll show you some of the most mysterious of these places, so make sure to watch till the end and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Life on Mars. The possibility of life existing on Mars has intrigued humanity for decades now, and earlier this year, footage released by NASA almost convinced netizens that life could be thriving on the red planet. The Mars Curiosity rover has been exploring and investigating the planet in detail. In May 2022, Curiosity captured a terrifying picture that, according to a lot of people, depicts a doorway on Mars. And conspiracy theorists were quite convinced that this could be a portal to a subterranean extraterrestrial world bustling with life. No one knows what lies behind that doorway. Although NASA has refuted all these theories, and according to them it's just a natural geological process. Professor David Rothery explained that the supposed portal is just the eroded remnant of the hardened sand dunes. Also, the door is only 11.3 inches tall, so if there is any life out there, it's incredibly tiny. NASA also attributed the door-like appearance of the landmark to pareidolia, in which the human brain tries to find meaning and familiar things in random visual patterns. Hollow Earth. Edmund Halley is a notable scientist who discovered Halley's Comet, but he's also known for his unconventional theories about the world. Back in 1692, Halley shared the hollow Earth theory. He postulated that the Earth consisted of 3 hollow concentric shells like the Russian Matryoshka dolls. But around 75 years later, an 18th century mathematician, Leonhard Euler, refined the theory. According to Euler, the Earth was completely hollow and there were no concentric shells. Instead, it contained a sun in the center. He also thought that the North and South Poles were gateways into the hollow Earth where advanced beings lived. He believed they were far ahead of humans in technology. Later in 1990, a book published by American explorer Admiral Byrd claimed that he encountered the hollow Earth firsthand while he was on a voyage to document the North Pole and Arctic. The book explained that Byrd discovered the entrance leading to Euler's hollow Earth. Byrd saw a green valley below instead of the never-ending icy landscape he was expecting. He also claimed to have met an ultra-advanced civilization, but there's no proof supporting the theory or the book. The Disneyland Dimension. Visiting Disneyland can feel like you've entered into a different world through a portal. The wonderland of beloved cartoons and fairy tales might actually have a portal to hell. A visitor noticed this huge portal back in 2016. In the sky of Disneyland, California, Kyle explained that he saw this mysterious black ring above him. The ring apparently had things swarming around its edges and he thought they were tiny birds. He also described feeling strange while he was watching the ring. He felt like an alien portal was about to open and suck him in, but realists have rejected this theory as Disneyland exhibits an array of pyrotechnics and smoke rings are a common byproduct of this. However, there is another theory about the rings. Some conspiracy theorists think that what Kyle saw could be a wormhole that, according to physicists, is formed when a force pokes a hole in space and time. Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. In the Alice in Wonderland sequel titled Through the Looking Glass, Alice actually goes from one side of a mirror to the other where she finds a parallel universe. This may be a fantasy tale, but some people think there's some truth to it. Believers think reflections are an easy way for spirits and higher powers to gain access to our reality, and they justify it by the terrifying game of saying Bloody Mary in the mirror thrice and having her ghostly form appear. Researchers from the University of Urbino carried out an experiment in 2010 where they asked subjects to stare at their own reflections in a dimly lit room. Strangely, in just less than a minute, participants began experiencing psychological anomalies. Their faces became distorted and other scary faces would appear in the mirror. This has been named the Caputo effect, and the reason behind it is that when you stare at an object or face for a long time, the visual neurons in the brain increase their activity and details fade. And because of this, the brain fills the gaps using data from our expectations and experiences. So in a way, mirrors can be regarded as portals, but they lead to unsettling dimensions of our own psyche. Gate of the Gods. Near the Lake Titicaca in Peru, the local shamans dwelling in the Hayu Mountains routinely perform rituals at a massive rock called Aramu Muru. This rock is called the Gate of the Gods. Residents of this region have believed for generations that this rock is actually a portal to another dimension, mainly because of the gigantic door-like shape that was carved into it many centuries ago. Most people, however, think it is just an abandoned stone carving that wasn't completed by the builders of the Incan Empire. But the locals insist that people accompanied with strange lights would disappear into the doorway, and a golden disc fell from the sky many years ago. It landed into the hands of a priest king named Amaru Muru. In the smaller cutout, there is a small circular compression where Amaru Muru placed the disc, according to legend. This activated the door and opened a cosmic interdimensional portal. He passed through it and was never seen again. Though there's no evidence supporting this theory, locals do report strange sightings at the eerie rock. Liminal Spaces. The word liminal comes from the Latin word which means threshold, and in the context of the famous liminal spaces trending online, it is a location built for passing through instead of dwelling. So it functions as a threshold between 2 points, like hallways, staircases, parking lots, and doorways. But some people believe that being completely alone in a liminal space will induce an unnerving sensation of everlasting isolation. It feels like you've entered a place that is disconnected from reality. This phenomenon has become pretty popular, and there's even a subreddit dedicated to it called Liminal Space, where people share pictures of liminal spaces. The concept has even inspired a video game called The Backrooms. Entering these spaces feels like you've crossed into a different world, and that's why they're considered potential portals. Invitonet Island. The word Invitonet means no return, and it's quite an accurate name for the Invitonet Island of Kenya. According to local legend, no one ever returns from this island. Local news sources reported that in 1935, Vidian Fuchs, an English explorer, led an expedition to the island with 5 other people. Though he never set foot on the island, instead he sent 2 of his companions to check out the island. The team had a system according to which the 2 men on the island would light their lamps in the evening daily to signal that all was well. But a few nights later their signals stopped. Fuchs and the rest of the team went to the island to search for the 2 men, but didn't find anyone. They'd vanished without a trace, as if they'd been transported into a different dimension. Fuchs and his other companions were lucky and made it off the island. While there's not a lot of evidence supporting the story, there is a theory about the disappearances. From above, the island looks like a caldera, which could mean it's a remnant of an ancient volcano. The Lake Turkana on which the island sits is also home to many other inert volcanoes. So there's a possibility that the island emits invisible toxic fumes that suffocate the ones who descend into the pit. There's also a chance that the surface collapses and swallows the people who step on it in case unstable magma layers are churning underneath, which can cause the surface to crack. Heaven's Gate. Tianminshan lies in the Hunan region of China. The name Tianminshan means Heaven's Gate Mountain, and local sources say that a massive cave collapsed within the mountain back in 263 AD and formed a 180-foot wide hole. It's common for karst formations like this one to collapse, but the residents of the area believe that it was a divine intervention. Local legend claims that the opening is a portal between earth and heaven. One day people saw the cave of Tianminshan collapsing, and as the rock crumbled away, 5 heavenly clouds appeared and parted to reveal the Heaven's Gate. Then they heard the voice of the Jade Emperor, who is considered to be the first god in heaven according to Taoist theology. Since then, the mountain has been called Heaven's Gate. This in turn led to the belief that it is a portal to heaven. Devil's Playthings. The Rakotbrücke Bridge of Germany is an arch-shaped bridge, and its reflection on the water forms a perfect circle. This seemingly forms a connection and entrance to the mirrored world below. Because circles are often associated with interdimensional portals because of their non-linear shape, and mirrors are portals for spirits according to popular belief, this place has twice the chances of becoming the subject of some scary tales. People believe that the perfectly arched masonry bridges from medieval times were only possible to construct if the devil himself had helped build them. That's why they're called Devil's Bridges. It's also believed that the devil would seek a small fee in return for building the bridge, the soul of the first human who would cross the bridge. In reality, these bridges don't actually defy gravity, so there's little chance that the devil contributed to their construction. The Fosse Dion. The Fosse Dion is located in the Burgundy region of France, and it's a natural marvel. 311 litres of water gushes out of it every single second, yet no one has been able to locate the source of this water. According to legend, the water comes from a bottomless spring, while some people believe that it could be a portal to a different world. It has been used for worshipping and obtaining drinking water since the 7th century, but the circular stone wall around it was constructed in 1758. The circular shape also fueled the belief that spring could be an interdimensional portal. After all, circular shapes hold strong mystical significance. Believers think that the non-linear shape symbolizes infinite cycles of growth and energy. During the 18th century, locals used to look deep in the depths of the spring, trying to find out any clue as to what was lying at the bottom. Some people even tried to dive in, but those people vanished and were never seen again. This also led the locals to assume that the spring was a portal to another world. Some also thought that a huge serpent lived down there and ate anyone who dared to get close. In the last 50 years, only 4 people have dived into the Fosse Dion, and no one has ever been able to reach the bottom. In fact, only one of the 4 divers, Pierre-Eric Desaigues, survived. He descended to a depth of 230 feet back in 2019, but still didn't find the source of the water. The Amanath Cave. Hundreds of thousands of Hindu pilgrims journey to the sacred Amanath Cave every year. It's located in the Himalayas and is a sacred worship site. The people believe that this cave is where the god Shiva revealed the secrets of the universe to his wife Parvati. Hindus venture into the cave, kneel by the spectacular ice column that's formed by the dripping icy water inside the cave, and pay their respects. Some even report experiencing enlightenment. In the Hindu faith, holy individuals who commit their lives to spiritual ascension tend to isolate themselves in caves for long periods of time. They deprive themselves of worldly pleasures, which in turn allows them to enter altered states of consciousness and contact higher entities. It's almost like opening a spiritual portal to communicate with the divine beings. Pilgrims to the Amanath Cave have reported many similar experiences, and that's probably why it's considered a portal to a different world. We hope you enjoyed learning about these potential portals, other worlds and dimensions. Tell us in the comments which one you think is most likely to be an actual pathway to a different dimension. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. See you all next time.